Today's goal is to ascend the south side of Denzel Peak. We've ascended the north side before, but never the south side. The south side's a lot steeper, and there are a few challenges along the way. What I'm going to do is head up over Pink Goblin Pass. We are at the Calico Basin exit. That's the exit just before Red Rock Park. And if you head up Charleston Avenue and cross 215 and just keep on going, you will eventually hit Calico Basin and Red Rock Park. Anyway, we are at the very end of the paved roads in the Calico Basin, from the Calico Basin exit, and what you're looking at right here is Kraft Mountain, very beautiful in the sunrise. And so the path that we're going to take today is over Pink Goblin Pass. Love that name, Pink Goblin Pass. I can see the pink in the name. I don't know where the goblin is. Maybe we're looking right at it and I'm just not creative enough to see it. But anyway, we're going to head over Pink Goblin Pass and then descend into Gateway Canyon. Now, when you hit Gateway Canyon, you can go one of two ways. Actually, you can go a lot of ways, but the canyon goes one of two ways. One is you can take a U-turn and head around Kraft Mountain, and what you're doing is taking the Kraft Mountain Loop, and then you'd come out this end of Kraft Mountain and then end up here in the parking area. The other thing you can do when you hit Gateway Canyon, you go over Pink Goblin Pass and descend down into Gateway Canyon, is what fewer people do, is you take a left and you head up Gateway Canyon all the way to the base of Turtlehead Peak. And then there's some ascent. I don't know what that ascent's going to be like, but you ascend out of Gateway Canyon into the next canyon, and I believe that's a continuation of Calico Basin. Anyway, cross that canyon and you're looking directly at Denzel Peak, the highest mountain that you can see straight across the canyon. So we'll then head for the south or the right side of Denzel Peak and then look for a way to ascend. So that should be an interesting experience. That ascent is very steep, and no promises whether I'm going to make the summit. I haven't done this before, but we're going to give it a shot and see how far we get. Anyway, sunrise in Calico Basin, and look at these hills. How beautiful. This is perfect time to view the hills and see all the colors in Calico Basin. Sunset's another great time. And then you can see, looking down moving a little bit more toward Las Vegas. If we were to go right over these hills in the distance, you would, as you top the hills, you'd see all of Las Vegas, and we'll get some great views of Las Vegas as we ascend the south side of Denzel Peak. Here's Kraft Mountain again. And just to show you some of the alternate trail possibilities, there are 3 trails here, 3 trailheads. We're at the end of the parking lot. And I haven't done any of these other trails, but looks interesting. And you can pause the video, enlarge, and read about the Girl Scout Trail. And then there is the Ash Spring Trail. And of course, the Kraft Mountain Loop trail. And we're heading up over this side, at least, of the Kraft Mountain Loop trail and onward. Ash Spring is actually, I believe, in this direction. And I'd like to go there at some point. We will. But not today. Today is Denzel Peak. Here we go. Just on the way up Pink Goblin Pass. Look at these boulders. These are at the base of Kraft Mountain. Can you imagine when one of those things came down? Looks like major rock fall here. And there we are looking up at Kraft Mountain. And then circling over to Pink Goblin Pass. There's a shot straight up at Pink Goblin Pass. And we've already ascended about 300 feet in the first, I don't know, 5 to 8 minutes. Kraft Mountain. Looking down the trail to where we started, you see the elevation gain. And there's Blue Diamond Mountain straight ahead in the center. And then looking around to make the complete 360, here we are back at the look up Pink Goblin Pass. We're about at the summit of Pink Goblin Pass. Here is a look up the way we just came, and then around to the rising sun over Kraft Mountain. Continuing around, and now we're looking at the descent to Gateway Canyon, and at the bottom of these hills is Gateway Canyon. And there you can see Turtlehead Peak coming into view right in the center. And continuing around, looks like there are some interesting potential routes up over these hills, and then you descend into Red Rock Park area. We'll try that sometime. And then here we are again. A little further along, good look at Turtlehead Peak, and then down into Gateway Canyon. The sun's hitting these hills at just the right angle. Very beautiful. You're heading around Kraft Mountain Loop. You might want to look for this little fork in the road right ahead. You'd take a right, and that would take you down to Gateway Canyon. Then you'd continue along. You take another right and continue along Gateway Canyon around Kraft Mountain here. And a shot up to Pink Goblin Pass. And the hills above Red Rock. So here we are at this fork. If you want to continue on toward Gateway Canyon and on up Gateway Canyon, take the left fork. We are continuing on down to Gateway Canyon, and we're in the backdrop of Turtlehead Peak. And just keep on going down, and you'll hit Gateway Canyon, take a left, and continue up Gateway Canyon. A few hundred feet beyond that first fork, here is the second fork, where the left leads on to Gateway Canyon and the right leads down to the Kraft Mountain Loop. I think this is actually better. I'd go for that second fork and then head down, and you'll be down in Gateway Canyon at the base of Kraft Mountain. Take a right and continue around Kraft Mountain. But we are going this way, the left fork, toward Upper Gateway Canyon, and all the way out the upper end of Gateway Canyon. Again, there's Turtlehead Peak, and here's the amazing colors of the hills around us in the early morning. Now, over here, wow, this is going to become brilliant. This is Kraft Mountain. This is going to become brilliant in the evening. So on the way back, we'll be looking at this in the full sunlight. Very, very beautiful. Okay, hills bordering Red Rock Park. Lots of ways up and over. Okay, continuing on to Gateway Canyon and to the right lower base of Turtlehead Peak, where Gateway Canyon will open up into the next canyon. I think it's Calico Basin again. Okay, onward. The canyon is in full view. We're going to head up Gateway Canyon after we descend this trail. And here's a look down Gateway Canyon. If you were doing Kraft Mountain Loop and you had stayed on the trail where I am right now, you could actually end up down in Gateway Canyon and then just take a U-turn and head right down into around Kraft Mountain. On the way back, we'll be looking for the location where this trail reaches Gateway Canyon, and on this day we're heading up Gateway Canyon. It's Turtlehead Peak, the surrounding hills in the brilliant morning sun. Speaking of which, there is the brilliant morning sun over Kraft Mountain. Hills above Red Rock Park. And everything over this ridge is heading over to Red Rock Park. Okay, continuing down to Gateway Canyon. Almost at Gateway Canyon, but the reason I stopped here is that there are a couple curious little trails right here that go up, and I'm going to imagine over this ridge into Red Rock Park. And here's one of them right here. Haven't taken them, so I don't know what level of climbing is involved, if any. And then here's another one heading up this side. I think I'd go to the one on the right because it looks like it's heading for a more level, wider opening, but who knows? We'll find out someday, but not today. Today we're heading down into Gateway Canyon immediately below, and let's take a look at the location of this opening, because this is what I need to find on the way back if I'm going to go over Pink Goblin Pass and the path of least resistance to where I started. Yes, most everything here is totally unmarked. So if you were heading down Gateway Canyon, you could easily miss this little opening right here. So maybe I'll put a couple rocks there to signal that opening. Our direction is up Gateway Canyon right now. There's a few light class 3 scrambles in Gateway Canyon, so it's not all gradual ascent. There's not a whole lot to this, but we'll be seeing a little more of this kind of terrain as we continue up Gateway Canyon. Light scramble. Beautiful smooth rock. You can see where the water has formed a little channel right through the rock. Okay, here's the third class 3 little climb. Not very high, but yeah, it takes a little more than just your feet, at least for me. So up we go. Much for level gravelly surface. Now we're into boulders. And here you can see my trekking poles. They're about 5.5 feet high. And you see, gauge the size of the boulders around here by that. So we're continuing on up through these boulders. And the deal is to keep basically to your right and aim for the right side of the base of Turtlehead Peak, which is up ahead. So this canyon continues to wind, and we'll get a better look at the upper portion of this canyon as we go. Another little challenging spot here. By challenging, I guess I mean anything that's more than class 2. By the way, class 1 is level ground. Class 2 is you're going uphill, but you don't need to use your hands. Class 3, you need to start using your hands. So this is another little class 3 scramble here. Not too bad actually, but yeah, there's a number of these class 3 scrambles. And by the way, class 4 would be you're going up the side of a mountain, and it's a rock face, and you've got some good holds. There's a decent angle. Class 5 is you're going straight up the rock face, and you definitely need rope assistance. Class 4, it's probably wise also to have ropes, but class 3, yeah, you can do it. It just takes both hands and both feet. Okay, we've reached the Smiley Bush, and this is the extent to which I made an earlier pass up Gateway Canyon, and I was actually looking for Kraft Mountain Loop and continued up Gateway Canyon erroneously rather than taking that U-turn when you first hit Gateway Canyon and heading down around Kraft Mountain. In fact, I just turned a couple people around who thought they were still on the Kraft Mountain Loop. It's very easy to make that mistake here. So watch the earlier part of this video if you just want to do Kraft Mountain Loop and you don't want to go up Gateway Canyon. But we're continuing on up Gateway Canyon, and definitely we don't know what's ahead now. It could be, class 3, maybe class 3 plus climbing. I hope not, because I stop at class 3. I'm a glorified trail runner and not a rock climber. But if you're a rock climber, then maybe this is the canyon for you. Okay, continuing on up Gateway Canyon. Let's do a quick 360, and you can see the walls, the canyon walls, all around us. So make sure I'm on secure footing here. And then you can see the area I just came up. I'm not showing too many shots in this direction, maybe on the way back. The sun is right in front of that. And makes for very grainy photos. Okay, so there you see ahead. So continuing to wind up Gateway Canyon past the Smiley Bush. Another brief class 3 plus section. And if you look closely, yeah, here's my 5.5 foot poles. And if you look closely, this is probably maybe 10 feet right here. There are footholds on the way up. Of course, my poles do not collapse, so I have to be holding them in one hand, which does not help. But yeah, there you go. Up this section is next. Okay, this is an example of a class 4 to class 5 stretch, and I definitely don't do those. You can see my 5.5 foot hiking poles down at the bottom, and then you can see how it winds up around. It looks to me like there is another potential route that does not involve that, which is still, you know, a bit of a challenge, but it's more of a class 3 plus. So I'm going to go up this way, see if I can top this area and continue on. At some point I could very well hit a dead end in this canyon. I've never been up here before, but I'm going to get as far as I can. Okay, so heading up this section right here. Okay, so I backtracked even a little further from that that class 4 wall, class 5 wall. And what I found is I'm looking for the trail runners route. And it looks like this might be a good candidate because when I get up on top there, I'm above that wall. So let's try this. And I'm not the first one to do this, as you can see by the marks in the ground. But yeah, this looks like the path of least resistance for a trail runner. Now, if you're a climber, you would be in heaven in this section. But hey, I'm a trail runner. So here we go. Runner's route successful. I'm now standing above that, I don't know, 20, 25 foot wall that we were looking at a moment ago by circling around this side of the canyon. And as we look ahead, the canyon continues, and there's Turtlehead Peak above us. So let's continue on up. Wow, not too far ahead. Here's another little rock climb, another little class 3 section. It's not as difficult as the last one, but still it definitely requires a little bit of holding on. And remember, I have to hold my hiking sticks in one hand. So onward we go. Okay, here we are. These class 3 sections are coming fast and furiously. So there look like there are a number of choices here. I could go around the left side or the right side. Definitely not up the middle for me, at least. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I will say when I have finished, but I'm kind of leaning toward the right side here and just skirting the edge of this and then dropping down up there into the next section, looking for the next class 3 probably. Just turned around another person who started out on the Kraft Mountain Loop and was looking for the Kraft Mountain Loop. And that of course is way behind. We're going up Gateway Canyon here. Yes, I took this side here, and it was definitely the trail runner's side. Very easy. Here's the wall that only rock climbers would love climbing. And then the other side, actually, one could take that too. And that would be a little more challenging for a trail runner, but doable. So definitely looking back here, this is the side, and you can see that there's a series of little class 3 climbs in this canyon. There's one that I came up earlier, and who knows what's around this corner. We will find out. There's Turtlehead Peak. I keep thinking at some point that some of these rock climbs are going to end and we'll have smooth, easy going, but not yet. Barrier wall down here, and there is a way around, it looks like, up on this side and on up. So I'm going to take that and see if we can get to the top of this wall. Really a nice bypass trail that gets you above that rock wall we just looked at. And there's the wall down there. Gets a little tight up ahead, but it looks very doable. So let's continue on up. Here we are above that rock wall, and yes, this is definitely the way to go. You see more terraces up ahead, and here's the rock wall below us. Definitely don't want to be on that. And then as long as we're up in this spot, here's a look down the canyon, Gateway Canyon, that we've been ascending. Well, definitely Gateway Canyon is a series of class 3 climbs, ledges, and here's a little cairn somebody put here. And what I'm going to do, it looks like you could go up this way, but what I'm going to do is just head around this way, and then I see a little stairway that I can ascend right up there, and I'm going to ascend that and then make my way up to the top of this next cliff section. So here we go. Next section. We've got another cliff section ahead, but this looks a little more gradual. There is a bypass route up and above, and there's probably a reason there's a bypass route. I don't know what I'm facing here yet and how steep this rock wall is. It does look kind of doable, so I'm going to stick with the canyon for now, and if worse comes to worse, I'll head on up over the right side. One piece of good news is that you can see Turtlehead Peak. The end of Turtlehead Peak is tapering off here ahead, and so maybe that means this delightful little canyon is going to taper off also. We'll see. Back down the canyon, by the way, you can see the rock walls all around us. But yes, things look like they're tapering off a little bit. We'll see what that means in a bit. It looked easier from a distance. Looks more of a vertical or close to vertical stretch for about 20-25 feet. There is a little crack here that would be possible. I don't want to try to do that one-handed holding my climbing sticks. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm heading back around to that spot that looked like an alternate route up above this area. So here we go. Hopefully this is the last major rock wall here, dry waterfall, but no promises on that. A little class 4 crack that you saw in the last section, that was just a little too tempting for me. Looked like there were some good footholds, and as you can see, I ascended the crack, and as we look around, I'm in the crack actually. As we look around, you top the crack, and hopefully you can continue on up and around. It looks like there's a cairn up there. We don't know. That may just be part of the formation of the rock. Those look pretty tight for a cairn. But let's go ahead on up the rest of this crack and see what the world looks like up here. Okay, yeah, now we're on top of that wall. So the crack definitely did it for us. There's basically where the crack is that I came up. And you can see the bypass trail right over here. So continuing on up. And we're seeing for the first time some Calico hills up ahead, which is a sign that, and we see the base of Turtlehead Peak also ahead. And all this is a sign that we're getting close to the next canyon, which is a lot more friendly. And we'll just be making a loop today. I hadn't planned on this canyon needing so much time, so probably won't tackle Denzel Peak today, but we'll just call this the Gateway Canyon Loop Day. Wow, this is the longest stretch in Gateway Canyon that does not have a class 4, class 5 cliff to navigate. And you can see the edge of Turtlehead Peak, the lower edge. So that's looking good. We may have this licked, or we may come up against another wall, but it's looking good right now. Okay, continuing up Gateway Canyon. We're definitely nearing the upper section. In fact, we're probably in the upper section, but I thought I'd point this out. If you headed up this little slope here, you could actually make a left turn at the top, and I think that would take you to Turtlehead Peak. And getting up Turtlehead Peak is just a matter of navigating around the right side of this cliff section, because that's pretty much, you're up on top of that, and you're about at near the summit of Turtlehead Peak. So yeah, this would be an alternate way, and if I find a barrier I can't handle up ahead in this canyon, I'll come back to this spot and just head on up to the ridge up ahead and then head down. I've done that before down the backside of Turtlehead Peak, and I know that's very doable. But I want to try this little canyon, Gateway Canyon, and just see how it works as we continue on. There's a split here. One goes off to the left, and I think that opens up into the area I want to be. So I'm going to go left. The other split goes off to the right, and that looks like it ascends upward here. There's a hawk up here that is not happy that I'm in its territory. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see. There we go. If you look closely, well, yeah. well, I was pointing at the hawk. I don't know if you saw it. But anyway, yeah, this ascends uphill, and I think it's just a little too much to get into the next canyon. So I think this is the route we want to take. And then you can see more of Turtlehead Peak over here. And you can see the cliff line and all the way up to the summit. And that's not too difficult a route to make from here. It's a lot less difficult than what we've already done. So yeah, let's just go ahead and see if we can come out the opening in this canyon and get a look at Denzel Peak across the canyon. Here we go. Okay, good sign. We're into red rock all around us. And that means to me that we are approaching the upper end of this Gateway Canyon, and it's going to empty out into the next basin. It could be Calico Basin. It could be Brownstone Basin. I'm not entirely sure. A map would show. But then looking around us, here you see up toward Turtlehead Peak. And those cliffs up ahead are the cliffs of Turtlehead Peak. And so, yeah, from this point, one could ascend to the summit of Turtlehead Peak. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at Denzel Peak and then continue around this loop. We'll call it the Gateway Canyon Loop, back to Kraft Mountain, and finish circling around Kraft Mountain. I don't feel like I want to descend through Gateway Canyon again. It's just, you know, once is enough. There are a lot of barriers that really slows you down. I would suggest this is probably, Gateway Canyon probably isn't a good route to take to get to Denzel Peak. There is another route on the Denzel Peak South page of LasVegasAreaTrails.com, and that's the route I'm going to take back. It's more gradual and doesn't involve all this class 3 climbing that really tends to slow you down. But wow, how beautiful it is up here. And as you get into the red rock, pine trees are appearing. We have ascended about 1,000 feet. It seems like it should be 2,000 feet, but we've only ascended about 1,000 feet from Kraft Mountain, where we started. Okay, continuing on up. Continuing to traverse the red rock Jurassic sand dunes, and the red is from iron leaching up through the sand dunes, and then they solidified in the intervening time since the Jurassic era. And you can see, looking down the canyon we just came up, down Gateway Canyon. And then let's see if we can, I'm on a kind of narrow spot here. Not too bad. And then here's looking around for the complete 360-degree view. Yeah, the rock is becoming very, very beautiful. So I'm going to continue on up, and I think the way to go is around to the right or on up this way. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Here we go. Stretch over there, and instead came in this direction. And you know, I'm thinking this is not the way to go. Here's a little campfire. Somebody camped here before. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm going to do is, I believe I can see, I think those are some of the peaks on the far side of the next basin, but I'm not entirely sure. So I think what I need to do is head back around this side, the left side of this white rock, and see if that will then take me down. I want to keep close to the base of Turtlehead Peak and not diverge too far, because I know the base of Turtlehead Peak there, and you can see it going down in an angle. That base ends up in the canyon I want to be in. So I'm not sure that this little route over here ends up where I want to be. But I know that does. And so let's continue. Let's circle around the left side of this white rock, in between that and the base of Turtlehead Peak. Okay, here we are back on that Calico route, and I'm going to head on up and around, get above that next ledge up there, and it just seems like that's going to take me down to the next canyon. So we don't know, but let's see what happens. Here's the 360. Very beautiful area here. Diverse plant life popping out of the red rock. Wow. Just amazing. Actually red and white calico. And then again, there's Turtlehead Peak in the distance. Okay, let's continue on up, weave our way around this area. Okay, very beautiful area. I don't know exactly where I am, but I do know that Turtlehead Peak is over here, and if one were to head down that angle that you see from the summit area, one would end up in the next canyon. And so I'm rising up toward that area, and we'll see if the two indeed will meet at some point up ahead, and that's what I'm betting on. But look at the change in scenery here. How incredibly beautiful. And there's a straight shot down Gateway Canyon toward where we started, this side of Kraft Mountain. You can't see Kraft Mountain. I think it's another couple bends in the canyon there. And there you're seeing, I believe you're looking at Mount Wilson in the Rainbow Mountains, right there in the center. And then just to the right, that would be the tip of Rainbow Mountain. And then that makes this mountain in the distance Potosi Mountain, where we were last week. So, yeah, I know basically where I am, but not exactly how to navigate this little canyon. We'll find out. I'm sure it's going to work. Up this beautiful sandstone slope, and I'm thinking when we hit the ridge up there where those trees are, we're going to be able to turn to our right and see Denzel Peak. So let's see if that actually happens. That's my guess. Okay, and here is Turtlehead Peak, and on the opposite side of this rocky bluff, like if you went up to these trees and took a left, you'd have a pretty steady incline up to maybe class 2.5, up to the summit. You go right up that incline and up to the summit of Turtlehead Peak. We won't be doing that today, but if you're doing Turtlehead Peak from Kraft Mountain and going up Gateway Canyon the way I just did, that would be a route. And we'll see when we get up there. Things will be much more clear. But let's get the 360. And you can see the Calico rock all around us. And now you can look down, and even more so, you see Gateway Canyon winding along below. And that's the canyon we have ascended. Okay, onward and upward. Okay, sure enough, there is Denzel Peak right ahead, which means that the intervening canyon is going to be our way out. We just need to get down to that canyon. And so I'm thinking ascend a little further and then head down to the right at the top of this Calico section and work our way down. So we'll see how that works. And the 360. Third Saturday in November, and wow, it's about as hot as one would want it to be at this point. I'm in my running shorts and a tank top. So we're going to continue on up here and circle around this upper edge of the white rock and then see if we can angle our way down. And end up down in that canyon there. We shall see. Okay, yeah, there's Denzel Peak, and you can see a lot more of it. And you see the canyon at its base. That's where we want to be. And I think the way to get there is around the left side of these white rocks up ahead. We shall see. This keeps bringing me up toward the summit of Turtlehead Peak, and I can say that right now I am probably about 1,000 feet below the summit of Turtlehead Peak. It's tempting to go up there, but I want to keep on course here, well, whatever the course is, and head down into the canyon at the base of Denzel Peak straight ahead. And then just to continue the 360-degree view. Yeah, that other canyon I was in, I don't know if it would have necessarily led to the way out. I'm just not sure. There are a whole lot of possibilities here. So we'll stick to the high road there because we want to get around these white rocks. But yeah, to take a look here where we are. There you see the Gateway Canyon that we came up. And you can see Mount Wilson, Rainbow Mountain a little more, and Potosi Mountain way on the to the left there. And then there's Black Diamond Mountain, or Blue Diamond Mountain, straight ahead on the other side of the highway. So we know where we are. We just need to navigate around to get down into the next canyon. So here we go. Let's continue on up. By the way, also coming into view, you see right through the high points there. There is the Las Vegas Valley. Out with a view of Denzel Peak, and then we're looking down into the Upper Calico Hills area, and I believe that's the Calico Basin. Could be the Brownstone Basin, but I think it's Calico Basin. And then you can see Las Vegas. You can see the Strip down there. So basically the city of Las Vegas, main metropolitan area. There is Frenchman Mountain. And then moving around here, here's a much better view of Blue Diamond Mountain. And then looking down the way we came, we are, by the way, about 900 feet below the summit of Turtlehead Peak. So if I can't find a way down into that basin, which I'm pretty sure I can, then the next plan B is ascend to the summit of Turtlehead Peak and then just go down the main trail into Red Rock Park and then circle around below. That might actually be faster as a loop than attempting to head down and deal with all that wilderness area down there, but who knows? We'll find out soon what we're going to end up doing. Winding around Turtlehead Peak, just about 900 feet below the summit, and there you see some summit cliffs. I'm continuing around this edge, and actually two ways to get down. We want to get down into that canyon down there at the base of Denzel Peak. And so I'm probably a little bit off course, took this circuit a little wider than I needed to. But, you know, there you have it. There is La Madre Mountain coming into view up here. La Madre and El Padre, and if you go to the La Madre Mountain, La Madre El Padre, and Burnt Peak circuit page, you can see where we stood right above that area called the Notch, between the two mountains, between La Madre on the right and El Padre on the left. And we were descending from La Madre and then ascending El Padre. Anyway, yeah, here's where we want to be, down in this canyon below. So we will maybe start working our way down there. Maybe we continue on up around the base of Turtlehead Peak, 900 feet below the summit, and just see what things look like, and if there's an actual path to the summit, then we will go down into Red Rock Park. Otherwise, I see a pretty clear option to head down. It looks like there's some lower cliffs there that we got to watch out for. But if we get down into that wash down at the bottom, we've got it made. Then we just head down around and back to Kraft Mountain. So that's what I would prefer, and it looks very doable. Anyway, so here you have Las Vegas Strip. Even more of it in view now. This will be one of the best views we have of the Strip in this adventure. Okay, and then back toward where we came from. Not going that way. We're going to find an easier route back. Okay, well, there you have it. Let's see if we can make our way down into the large wash down here. I decided I'm going to start angling my way down into the wash down there. And it looks like there's a possibility down in this direction. And there's a possibility over in this direction. I'm not so sure about this. It looks like there might be some cliffs. So even though it's closer, I'm going to head over here, which looks more gradual. And the main thing is just get down into the wash and then take the wash all the way down around, hugging the edge of the lower base of this peak here right in front of us and circling around to where we started. So that's the plan. Let's see what happens. We've descended quite a bit, and it looks like this area is pulling me a little more toward it, meaning that maybe, just maybe, there is a weakness in a weakness in the rock wall down there, and a way to descend into the main wash. The other option is, if that doesn't work, if it looks like cliffs, then I head over in this direction and look for an opening. So, by the way, yeah, La Madre Mountain, how beautiful. You can see La Madre, El Padre, and the notch between where we were just a few weeks ago. And circling around to Denzel Peak, and then looking down to the canyon that we're wanting to get down into from this height. So let's see what happens. Here we go. Okay, we're getting lower. This looks like it could be an opening. However, a 15-foot shear wall would definitely stop me and send me in another direction to find another opening. So let's see. We don't know until we get down in that area. One thing I can say is that all the rocks seem to be washing down in this area, and maybe they collected at the bottom and created a nice descent rather than there being a cliff. So we're going to find out in just a little bit if this is the way to go. Okay, onward. We're in luck. No sheer cliff, as I was hoping. All those rocks that are washed down from above here, and you can see them still on their way down. They collect down in this area, leveling it off. Of course, there's a lot more moisture, and where there's moisture, there's more brush. So yes, we've got brush to navigate, but we don't have to head over the edge of a cliff wall. And that's something when you're in a situation like this. It's a real temptation when you get close to the bottom of something to you know, like you can see it right below you. It's a temptation to just begin climbing down a cliff because you're so close. And people have severely injured, even killed themselves trying to do that. Just because you can see it 20 feet below doesn't mean that it's the way to go. It looks so close. You'd do better in that case if this were all sheer edge of the rock, and with only, you know, 20, 30 feet to go, it looks so close. You do better to turn around and head back up and find another route down than to try to just scoot over the last 30-foot drop. That's no good. Okay, Las Vegas Strip, glistening in the afternoon sun. There it is. You see the whole length of the strip from the stratosphere and then all the way along the strip. So it's a pretty cool combination of nature and civilization to be able to see all of this at once. Okay, let's continue down and we'll take the gradual route and see if we can avoid the bushes. That's going to be the biggest challenge now. Here's looking toward La Madre Mountain area, and this is an example of something not to try to scoot down. It looks like you could almost do it, and maybe an experienced climber could, but boy, I see some overhangs there that could really trip you up and end you falling 20, 30, 40 feet. Doesn't look like much, but wow, it is when you're on there. Okay, down we go. Last 30 or 40 feet was straight through thick brush. Fortunately, I was able to make a way just by breaking off the brittle dead branches and no living branches, which is always my goal. But yeah, straight through about 20 to 30 feet of brush, 20 to 40 feet. But look where I am, in the canyon. Now it's a matter of making a beeline back to the other side of Kraft Mountain. So here we go. Oh, by the way, yeah, let's just look around. There's Denzel Peak. Here's looking up the canyon toward La Madre on the right and El Padre on the left. And you can see where I went from La Madre to El Padre to Burnt Peak and then back to the approach road in the dark, only with moonlight. So that's on the La Madre, El Padre, Burnt Peak page of Las Vegas Area Trails. And it's in the La Madre Mountains section. Okay, so wow, that's it for climbing over class 3 pretty much, and navigating brush, rocks, avalanche slope. So I'm going to run it for a while. Here we go. Curious if I could have taken a turn down the canyon, down to this canyon sooner. This looks like a potential point where I could have done that, but it also looks like there could be some ledges up there that I would have had to go over. So I don't know, but if there is another turn, it would have been an exit here to give you an idea of where we are. where that potential exit is. Because after all, we're looking for a Gateway Canyon loop. And we definitely, we overshot that loop by a little bit by going up to 900 feet just below the summit of Turtlehead Peak. But hey, maybe there isn't an earlier way. We'll keep watching. And then here again is that location where it could be an exit. I'm just enjoying this wash because it's downhill and there's no brush, there's no boulders, there's no class 3 climbs, and I'm ready to rest from those. Anyway, yeah, continuing on down this wash, and I think that the goal here is there's going to be a road, and I think it's not too far ahead. Unpaved road. Go a little ways on the unpaved road until we round this ridge. Now you could go over the ridge sooner, but the problem with that is that there was one other trail I didn't stop to point it out, but the problem with that is that, yeah, it's a little bit rugged. I want no more rugged at this point. So I'm going to keep with this. And here you see where it's blocked off. This is the end of that road. And the key is to go down around the edge of this ridge to the right. You don't want to go down too far, or you're going to end up on Charleston Boulevard and 215. And that's not going to be good because it's a long walk back to Calico Basin from there. So the key is where to make that crossover. And I'm thinking further down is the key. And we'll make a crossover to the right. We'll cross over the lower edge of this ridge system and head over to Kraft Mountain, where we started. So continuing down this wash, which is going to turn into a road, and continuing down to the lower edge of this ridge on the right. Okay, continuing down, now we're on the unpaved road, and we want to go further. I took things a little too soon on an earlier trip and tried to cross that area before I reached the lower edge of that ridge on the right. So yeah, we need to go further to where it's really low and then cross over. Got to hit the exact right spot. I don't know if I can do that, but we're gonna try. And here you can see Las Vegas in the distance. The strip. Great views the whole way. And it's nice to be on a road. And there's the strip. From one end to the other. And then there's Denzel, well, getting close to Denzel Peak. There is Denzel Peak. And I think that the best route up the south side of Denzel Peak is either to begin at Charleston Boulevard and 215 or maybe at the Kraft Mountain parking area where we began today, and then come out this direction rather than try to navigate Gateway Canyon, because Gateway Canyon just eats up a lot of time. And that's why, one reason that we didn't get much further than we got. You know, what we want to do is head up this, straight up between those two rocks, and then up to the pinnacle up here, and skirt to this side of the pinnacle over to the north summit. And we've been on the north summit before, we just haven't done the south summit. So that's still yet to come, and who knows when that's going to be, but maybe next spring, maybe a little later this fall and winter if this weather keeps up. It is just incredible. So continuing on down. Continue down this road. The big question is when to turn right and go over that ridge. And I'm thinking it's a bit after this little peak. Not before, but a little bit after the peak. And we take a sharp right, and then we hug the I guess the base of the mountains there that we'll see when we get around the corner, and head for Kraft Mountain. So another shot of the strip here. There's Frenchman Mountain. Got a page for that on LasVegasAreaTrails.com. And then, yeah, mountains beyond. I'm not sure what those are right now, but we'll know before too long. Could be the Muddy Mountains. I just don't know at this point. So there you have the expanse of the Las Vegas Valley. So continuing down to this little peak in the foreground, and then take a sharp right on the other side of the peak and see if we can connect with routes back to Kraft Mountain. Okay, the question, when to turn right and head toward Kraft Mountain. And I at first was thinking just on the other side of this peak, but now I'm thinking down on the other side of that little cliff ridge ahead. Of course, we don't want to keep going down too far because that takes us down to the Red Rock Casino and the intersection of Charleston and 215, way too far. So and we don't want to go too soon, or we end up in a lot of class 3s. For example, if we went on this side of the little peak on the right, yes, you're going to end up on some class 3s. And I've had it with class 3s for today. So I'm going to go to the other side of this little cliff here and then turn right. So let's check that out. The way the 360-degree view, there's the Las Vegas Valley, Frenchman Mountain, circling around, and here you can see Denzel Peak and a pretty good look at the summit route, which skirts the near side of this little pinnacle and then continues on over that next pinnacle, the high point, and then over to the north side, and we'll try that at some point. And then here's La Madre Mountain and El Padre Mountain, and then looking in this direction toward the setting sun. So let's continue on down to this little cliff line. We'll go just past it and then shoot over and aim for Kraft Mountain. That cliff section. And I'm betting that it's just beyond and right up this hill, as a matter of fact, that we take that right and then we skirt, we take an even sharper right and skirt the base of the mountains back to Kraft Mountain. But let's check it out and see. This is the wash/road that we're on, and you can see down into there's the Red Rock Casino, Las Vegas Strip below. So anyway, this, I believe, is the point at which you head upward, and it's just past this cliff line. And then to get an idea where we are, there's the La Madre Mountains, La Madre and El Padre, and there's Denzel Peak. Okay, let's head straight up this incline, circle around over the ridge, and then head over to Kraft Mountain. Okay, now the goal is to go right through that little saddle ahead and be heading to the right. So yeah, I'm just going to go to the edge of this and then head straight down to that saddle. And you can see in the distance, there's Potosi Mountain. And there you can see the Las Vegas Strip. Then around, you can see the tip of Gas Peak, actually. There it is, just to the right of this mountain ridge in the foreground is Gas Peak. And then here's an area that's referred to as Little Red Rock Canyon. And we'll have to explore that at some point. And then on over to Denzel Peak and La Madre Mountain and El Padre Mountain. So there's a good view of where we are. So let's continue on. We're going to go a little further and then head straight down to the to that saddle. Pass through the saddle and head for Kraft Mountain. We should be able to see Kraft Mountain once we pass through that saddle. Perspective, looking down into Las Vegas Red Rock Casino, and the Strip is behind it. There's the little saddle we're looking for. We're going to cross over that and head for Kraft Mountain. Can't see Kraft Mountain yet. And then here, looking up the basin toward La Madre and Padre Mountain and Denzel Peak. There's the three of them. And then over to Little Red Rock Canyon. Gas Peak. Let's take another look at Little Red Rock Canyon. There it is. Las Vegas again. And then down to the saddle. So let's head down that direction. And by the way, here's Blue Diamond Mountain. That's a good landmark. And then Potosi Mountain. In the saddle, so if you're going in the other direction, which is the best way to get to Denzel Peak, the quickest way at least, just head from the saddle over this hill. Now you can hit the spine there and just go right along the ridge, and then just after summiting that ridge, you're turning down toward the next canyon, and it'd be a right turn. And then there's Denzel Peak. So when I do the Denzel Peak south side, definitely coming this way. Won't eat near as much time as the Gateway Canyon. Okay, there's the strip, so you can still see Las Vegas strip right down there. So now we're heading over the saddle, and we'll see what things look like on the other side. Top of the saddle, there we see Kraft Mountain. And just on the left side, the left base of Kraft Mountain is where we will circle around and find the Beast, the parking lot. And the Beast is our little smart car. So, yeah, there's a trail down below, and I may try to hit that. I don't know. I think I'm going to just head down. Yeah, around this point, you begin to find little trails. People walk, they run in this area, and those will guide you right around Kraft Mountain. Okay, onward. Well, here we are at the bottom of Gateway Canyon, and this is actually where we're going to cross Gateway Canyon and hit the Kraft Mountain Loop. There's Kraft Mountain directly ahead. So let's see how easy it is to get to the other side. See a little sign up ahead pointing down into the canyon. So that must be the crossover point. Let's just go ahead and take that. In fact, yeah, let's go ahead and take it. So as you can see, we are on a regular trail now. And you're looking up Gateway Canyon directly to Turtlehead Peak. And we were there not too long ago, just below the summit. This is where we cross over Gateway Canyon, and then we circle around Kraft Mountain. We're on regular trails now, so it's pretty clear going. Probably about 15 minutes from home, or at least from the car. Looking down this direction, you can still faintly see the Las Vegas Strip. So we're closing the loop. This is what we call the Gateway Canyon Loop. We went up the far side of Kraft Mountain. We started going up to Pink Goblin Pass. And if you were doing just the Kraft Mountain Loop, you'd be coming out right around this area. Down at the bottom of Gateway Canyon. We, of course, descended into Gateway Canyon, way up the canyon, around the other side of Kraft Mountain. So now we're making the entire loop. And we are now on the Kraft Mountain Loop Trail. So it's just a matter of taking this trail around Kraft Mountain, and then we'll be at the parking area. Okay, now on this nice trail, we are looking toward the parking area. You can't see the parking area yet. Here is Kraft Mountain. And we're skirting the base of Kraft Mountain. Blue Diamond Mountain, straight in the center. Calico Hills, straight in the center. And our direction back, right along the base of Kraft Mountain. And you can even see Pink Goblin Pass. Okay. Closing in on the parking area. Should be right over this hill. And there we are. There's Pink Goblin Pass, where we started. There's Kraft Mountain. There's Calico Hills and Blue Diamond Mountain. Kraft Mountain in the waning sunlight. Pink Goblin Pass. And then over the ridge up there is Red Rock Park on the other side. We'll have to try that one of these days. Okay, now to the beast. And here we are, back where we started this morning. And that's the adventure for today. So we went up Pink Goblin Pass, and connected with Gateway Canyon, up Gateway Canyon to the top of Gateway Canyon, and then proceeded to just 800 feet below the summit of Turtlehead Peak, and then headed down into Calico Basin and circled around, came down a road straight through in that direction, and then made our way back to Kraft Mountain, and here we are. Call it the Gateway Loop, Gateway Canyon Loop.